Welcome everyone. It's time for more The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante, where last time I ended childhood. I did what I could, and I have since then learned a few things. Well, actually, sort of one major thing. See, there are a couple of... I was about to do a Back to the Future reference there and say a couple of densities. Destinies is what we've had, and I wanted to do both of them, that is to say, there are four, both of them in terms of the one that is for determination and the one that's for perception. And I got to for perception, and I did get the event to play with the ants, but when I got to the choice of what I wanted to do, I followed my mother to the garden. Now here's the thing, I thought that the choice was bring the ants to the garden with my mother and play with them there, but I probably did not read the choice correctly. So indeed what I did was leave the ants behind to go to the garden with my mother, and therefore I didn't fulfill the destiny. So going forward into the future, I need to be very, very careful with what I do with regards to specifically destinies. We're most likely going to get more destinies over here in the upcoming chapters, so yeah, I'm gonna be a bit more careful about that. So in the end, how we turned out was 6 determination and 3 perception, rather the opposite of what I actually wanted to be. I haven't died. There is a thing about death. I am still untouched by death. No idea if that's good or bad. It's just what's been going on. I am currently at exhausted willpower, but I'm gonna assume as I'm going into the next chapter, this will actually be set to 0. I'm a little bit interested in how you can get higher willpower, because I don't think I've been given bonus willpower at one point. What I will say also is that I'm gonna try and maybe use a few more actions that require willpower, because I've been very bad at that, simply because I wanted to go for other choices, but maybe I should start thinking a bit about willpower choices. I'll see. Not entirely sure how I want to do that. But yes, indeed, it is the end of the childhood, and the year, indeed, the childhood years are over. Let's move on to Adolescence Chapter 2. Very, very exciting. There we go. 8 years. Okay, we are basically playing each year. Are we? It kind of looks like we are playing each year here for the first 3. And I'm going to assume we're not playing each year during the peacetime chapter here. But... for sure, we're most likely doing every single year here. Alright then. As childhood took about 2 episodes, we're looking at, I think, 2 episodes each year. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe it's not every year.
I was growing up fast. The school, the streets, and the whole wide world awaited me beyond the gate of my parents' house.
Go. Adolescence has begun and new stuff has opened up. We have something I don't know. Let's keep going. We'll be introduced to those things, I am sure. So indeed, Chapter 2, Adolescence. You've lived in this world for 8 years now. As you grow older, life grows more complex. The world of your childhood was limited to your house and family, but now that realm is expanding. It also includes your neighborhood, the nearby houses, the streets of ancient city of Anisot. A question now looms over you, growing more pressing with each passing year. What will your place be in this vast outside world? Do you actually think about that when you're 8 years old? I don't think people generally do that, but maybe in this world you do, with all of the lots, etc., etc. Few people in the Blessed Arcane Empire trouble themselves with this question. It's not within a man or woman's power to choose. Their destiny is predetermined by their birth and those who bore them. And yet your peculiar birth has granted you a choice. Your father is a man of nobility, a worthy example in matters of duty and honor. Your mother is a commoner of lowly estate, humility and patience made flesh. And your sky is ablaze day and night with the light of the shining pillar, the beacon of the clergy. Your back bears the mark of the lash. Will you accept the drudgery and suffering that is the lot of the lowborn for your entire life? Or will you follow in the footsteps of your father and your father's father and fight for the right to serve the empire as a noble of the mantle? Perhaps will you follow the twin gods' word and offer spiritual guidance to others? And that is actually a question I think I posed in the last episode, which is maybe I can actually become a clergyman. I don't think I want to, but it sort of opens up, I think, that we can, if we make our choices correctly, actually choose between these three. And I think that nobleman is where I kind of want to go, because I'm definitely of the idea that I want to break up the lots. Like, if I can. Well, maybe being a clergyman is the way to go then. Oh, maybe I can put myself out as some sort of prophet who says that everything we know from the twin gods is wrong. Lots are not the way. Interesting. The answer lies out there in the vast, terrifying world. What awaits you beyond the walls of your home? Very, very scary, supposedly. So, alright then. Those are most likely our new destinies. Your world grows, the neighborhood, the houses nearby, the streets of ancient city of Anisot. Will you accept the suffering that is allowed of the lowborn for your entire life, or will you follow the father, etc., etc.? Events that can happen to the Brante family. So not just me, maybe. So, glorious secret. Oh, we are getting new stuff here. Ingenuity. Ingenuity, there we go. You discovered the secret society your sister Gloria has joined. Ooh. Then we have Stefan's disgrace nobility. New stuff as well. You found out about your elder brother's forbidden love. Ooh, also weird. Are you by any chance interested in a lowborn? Could be. Blood Tide. You joined the Blood Tide of the Brante family. So either I did the nobleman sacrament, which I did. I lunged for the sword and kissed it a bit stupidly, but it did open up this. I'm not at 2 with Gregor Brante. I'm actually not that far away. I am at 1, I believe. Yes, so he's okay with me, but not it would not have been enough for this unless I had done the noble sacrament. So I am actually on the road for this, because participating in the ritual is something I will be able to do. And then we have my younger brothers, his admonition, spirituality. Your younger brother's Nathan's Brante receives a spiritual admonition from you. Alright. And events in the personal life of the hero that can happen in this chapter. We have Matters of the Heart, meet a girl. Nice. Revelation of the tree. You experience a revelation by the sacred silver tree. An epiphany. Don't think we can do that one, but because that is the same symbol as the ants, isn't it? So can I do that? Maybe I can. Maybe it's just a similar symbol. Experiencing the revelation. And then Sophia. You save a local girl named Sophia from lesser death. So it looks like she's going to be ran over by some horses. Interesting. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, so here we go. Your personal qualities at this age, they determine which choices you make. So, okay, I was wondering about my my younger self with determination and perception. There we go. They're gone. We are now in this world. All right. So nobility represents how noble your thoughts and deeds are in your pursuit of the honorable ideals of the nobleman. It affects your chance of becoming a noble of the mantle and future skills that are crucial for the noble estate. Ingenuity represents how quick-witted you are and how skillfully you can manipulate a situation to your own end. It affects your ability to survive without the privileges of nobility and future skills that are crucial for a commoner. I'm a bit annoyed at the fact that these are now the opposite from before. This should have been first, and then nobility. Anyway, spirituality, your aspiration to unlock the mysteries of creation, explore the divine in the mortal world, the people around you, and yourself. It affects your ability to become a priest and future skills crucial for the clergy. Alright. Interesting. Your inner strength and the number of lesser deaths that you have experienced. These qualities will stay with you for your entire life. Wait. I really hope that I can change my willpower. Really hope I can change my willpower. I'm not going to be exhausted forever. Really hope that. But yes, indeed, currently untouched by death. Alright then, we have a relations screen. You have no relations right now, fair enough. Province screen. So this is the province, Archduke Melanidas. We do actually have a relation with him, which is fun. Patriarch Fotis. Patriarch. Okay, so Patriarch, that is actually a character. Patriarch Fotis, okay. Not so much power in the province. Church is not doing great. Fairly wealthy. Welfare of the province and its population. Security, cool. And fairly good order. We are at peacetime. Cool, cool, cool. And finally, a map of the Empire. Oh, can we actually... Oh, bloody hell. Alright then, Arcania, this is where we are, presumably. We are in... Well, actually... Wait. The birthplace of the Empire in every Arcanian dynasty, owned by the Emperor himself. Province with the most wonderful soil, Arcania abounds in ancient castles, green fields and towering forests, sprawling cities, etc., etc. And that is also where Eterna is, the capital of the blessed Arcanian Empire. This ancient and beautiful city was built upon the shores of 3 rivers. By the Emperor's own order, Eterna houses the Imperial College and the Military Academy, which provide opportunities for commoners to become nobles of the mantle through service of valor, as well as divine seminary. So it is in fact true that even if you are a commoner, you do have the ability to become a noble. So while they are very, very stringent with this thing, the whole lot system, you can move around a bit, which is interesting. We also have northern provinces of Fiona, Constanta, and Hermia. We have Monia, we have Illyria, Astinia, and Magra. We are in Magra, yes. The whole of this is Magra. We live in Anisot, the city of your birth, and the capital of the arid province of Magra. Alright then. And indeed, we have the Silver Tree, a sacred landmark grown by the twins when they descended to the mortal realm. The old prophecies say that Anisot is where the end of the world will begin. Well, that's hopefully going to be me. And there's just a whole lot of cities. We'll get to these if they become relevant at some point. So that's cool. Everything is starting to open up indeed quite a lot. Still are missing 2 things here. Alright then, 11, 26, 8 years old. So, the boy down the street. The family expects more and more of you as you grow up. The teachers and tutors hired by your father keep you on your toes all the time. Your life these days is dedicated to studying for your future, for the future of the Brante family. Your younger brother Nathan keeps growing up too. You can hold a conversation now. You never refuse him when it comes to play, provided you have a bit of free time between your demanding lessons. It is a rainy day today. Father and mother have gone to a ball and they left Nathan in your care. You lose track of time over the books in the sitting room, and Nathan goes off alone to splash in the creek. I like the fact that, you know, the pages became wet, just because there's rain. I like that. Soon you hear his voice begging you to come outside. He's on the porch, sobbing, all covered in dirt. You walk up to him as he continues to bawl. And Nathan says, it's all that kid. He pushed me into the ditch and called me names. He said I was fancy pants fool. I said I'll call my brother. He's still there. You have to go punish him, Chris. Nathan points at a lopsided wooden house further down the street where the poorer artisans live. You see 2 boys lingering there on the porch. They are clearly both commoners, but far from poor. One of them is almost as tall as Nathan and frowns in a funny way, just like him. The other looks older, almost your age, but he's more broad-shouldered and taller. His name is Thomas. You've heard it before. There, Chris, that's him. He points to the younger boy and hides behind your back. Thomas grins and rolls up his sleeves to reveal strong forearms. He must have been helping his father with manual labor for quite some time. So Thomas here, listen up rich boys, we don't give a damn about you or your friendship. We don't let nobody call our home a stinking rat hole. Your little brother earned his ditch dive. Maybe next time he'll dress normal and stop picking fights with people who can throw him in the mud. Your hands clench into fists before you react. Nathan called them names first. No wonder they did the same. That's how it goes. But pushing your brother into a ditch is too much. Thomas stands tall and confident. He sees no threat in you. You're about to get ready for a fight when you feel a tug on your sleeve. You turn your head to see Nathan, the one who started the whole mess. So, if he would have been grateful to me, yeah, I haven't really been working on my relations with my people around me, really. So can't do that one. Alright then, come at Thomas and give him a beating. Say your brother is to blame, resolve the matter peacefully. So we can start thinking a little bit about those 3 Nobility, ingenuity, bloody hell, and spiritualities. These are most likely one of each. So I'm gonna say that nobility might be the beating. Or actually, no, sorry, commoner. That's the commoner thing. You start wailing on people. Saying that he is to blame, that's the nobility one, and resolve the matter peacefully, that's the spiritual one. I'm gonna start moving a little bit towards spirituality. I'm just assuming these things now. I just want to say, I'm just assuming. I'm gonna try to reason with Thomas. Let's see how that goes. This quarrel can be resolved peacefully. You turn to Thomas and offer to solve the problem like adults. His brother will apologize to Nathan, and Nathan will apologize to him in return. There is no need to fight anymore, and you will give Nathan a piece of your mind when you get home. You and Thomas are all grown up and should act your age, you say. The blood rushes to Thomas' face when he hears this. Obviously. Act your age, you say, or you're calling me a baby? You better shut your trap. This is all he says before he attacks. You barely dodge a fist flying at your face. You start trading blows, huffing and puffing with rage. The younger boys gawk in awe at the sight. Thomas does not resort to fancy moves, dirty tricks, or stupid taunts. He displays nothing but skill earned in many a street fight, and his heavy fists aim for your head. You keep dodging him again and again, trying to reach him. He takes a couple of glancing blows, but easily shakes them off. What a bruiser. You start swinging your fist with greater and greater fury. I mean, I should be not bad at this, because I have obviously been training with my father, so maybe not so much hand-to-hand combat, though, that is true. Also, for a young person, you have very veiny fists. Gotta say, that is a veiny fist right there. Your heart is pounding like a hammer. You see nothing but the foe in front of you. How much longer will this take? You're worn out, your breath grows ragged, and your muscles grow heavy. But there's no way you can give up now. Nathan is watching you. Desperate and out of options, you swing and punch Thomas square in the nose. Then immediately let his fist smack you in the temple. The blow rings through your head like a bell and blinds you for a moment. The world swims before your eyes. You clutch your head to get your bearings. Thomas is standing in front of you, blood dripping from his nose. You no longer want to fight it out. It seems your opponent would rather end it too. But you keep standing there, eyeing each other angrily. Then suddenly you hear an angry shout right next to you. An enraged man in a craftsman's apron is shaking a fist. Thomas's face contorts in terror right away. It's my father! Run, says Thomas. The punishment for fighting is flogging, and the mere prospect of that makes you run like the wind. Thomas sprints in front of you. You dash across the rotted wooden planks of the back alley, up and over a lopsided fence, across a giant pole in one leap, and then forward into the tall grass. You hide there and stay quiet. You hear no sounds of pursuit. You exchange glances with Thomas and start laughing. His laughter is loud and infectious, but soon it cuts you short and grows sadder. I'm gonna get flogged anyways. My dad's always quick to give me a beating, but then he'll start nagging me about the lots and the praise for days like he always does. Why do I always get myself mixed up in this stuff? But fighting is the only way to prove you're worth anything, right? The adults didn't see you fighting, you tell them, so all you have to do now is convince them you weren't. Nosebleeds happen, right? Well, they get nosebleeds all the time. She should probably look that up. Well, we could try it, says Thomas. Let's hope our little brothers don't tell on us. I'll talk to mine. There's a scratch on your head, don't let them see it. Good thing I didn't hit you in the face. There, good as new. And we're best of friends already. You assure him that Nathan will never tell, and in return, you'll make sure he behaves himself so he won't get tossed into a ditch again. With that, you shake hands with Thomas. His handshake is as strong as you would expect based on his fists. You make your way out of the tall grass. You need to leave before Thomas's father goes to your family and complains about you breaking your lot. You come to a realization on the way back. You had no idea the place where you were hiding even existed, and it wasn't too far from home. Thomas smiles in excitement when he hears this. Oh, I know lots of places like that. I'll tell you what, if we get out of this mess today, I'll show you the way to the old fortress wall. It's the perfect place to build your own fort. I dragged a bunch of wooden planks there. Too bad it's no fun to build all alone. My brother never helps. He just gets in the way. You emerge from the muddy back alleys, united by the secret only the two of you know. It seems you made a friend today. Aw, isn't that lovely? So, indeed, we're starting a friendship here, so I would assume... Yes, indeed, relations. So there we go, he comes up there now. And as I kind of figured out, spirituality goes up. Lovely. Alright then, so that is it. We have met Thomas, our new friend. Lovely, lovely. Always good to have. And fort building, always cool. That was it for the first year. Quick start, kind of feels like that is how it was in the childhood as well. Let's just quickly nip back here. So what did I have for spirituality? That was for Nathan. Okay, so I can be a little bit severe with him if I would like to. Do I want to go for... Do I want to go for no... Oh, bloody hell, I kind of want to do all of these. That's the problem. Now, we're not going to be able to do all of them. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It kind of depends on the choices that we are going to get as well, I think. Riders on the Road is the next event here. It is blistering hot today, even for the sun-parched land of Magra. As soon as you are done with your studies, you dash outdoors and out of the stuffy room. You and Thomas roll up your shirt sleeves, but it barely helps. You would gladly go shirtless had you only been in the company of other boys. Isn't Thomas a boy? Oh. Never mind, just keep reading. But there are 3 girls in the yard today. They are doing the laundry in a big wash tub, whispering and giggling. If you could, you would gladly keep watching one of them at work. Have I already singled one out? She has big eyes of deep blue. Her dark hair is braided, and her plain grey dress is mended and patched all over. Her name is Sophia. She throws her head back a little when she laughs. The rays of the sun are reflected in her eyes. You, Thomas, and the other boys keep telling silly stories, anything to make her laugh. So I guess, yes, we are in sort of the middle, as our father is nobility, but our mother is not. We are currently of the commoner lot, so it is fine for us to sort of hang out with these people, but if we want to get somewhere in life, maybe we shouldn't go for a commoner girl, but we'll see. You sure love telling tall tales, Chris. Oh, I remember this one time. But when Sophia hears a voice calling her home, she nods at you and runs across the street, smiling. Her light steps carry her forward, but her eyes are looking elsewhere. But then a stone on the road catches her foot. She stumbles and falls flat on the dust. I think where we're going here. The street starts shaking from the thundering of hooves. Riders appear on the road from around the corner. They bear a coat of arms you recognize right away. A sable serpent blade upon a field of vert. It symbolizes the Milanidas dynasty, the family of your province's archduke. The horses dash forward. A lost wooden toy on the road cracks under their hooves. They will not slow down. They are the nobles, and the rest must make way for them. Sophia is in their way, just now starting to get back on her feet. Her mother is crying for her desperately from behind the fence door. You freeze in terror. The riders surely see the girl. Are they going to stop? Or are they going to trample her? In only a few moments, the beautiful girl will be toppled, trampled, and crushed. And I am indeed not willpowered enough. I am currently at -10. Does this mean that I'm always going to be at -10? Oh, that is not super good. Oh, that's actually super bad. Oh, well. Okay, so... The first one, which is this one, that's not gonna happen. Alright then, well, am I really not gonna get willpower back? Oh, bloody hell. Alright then, well fine, we're gonna have to stay where I am. So, that's how I solved that one. Because I couldn't do anything any other way. You stand frozen by the roadside, unable to look away as the cloud of dust covers the entire street. You feel as if a massive, maddened beast whipped into a merciless frenzy has just passed you by. You hear no screams, no cracking bones, nothing but the deafening din of the hooves. Alright, yes indeed, she died there. Once the horses are gone and the dust settles, you can finally see the road again, and the repulsive blob of blood, flesh and bone left on it. You can still see traces of Sophia in that mess, her dark hair, the remains of her dress, but it is no longer her. Sophia's earthly remains slowly dissipate and melt into the air. Her mother's eyes are filled with grief as she watches. She hunches over and slowly walks back into the house. You can still hear the riders far away down the road. None of them even bothered to look back. Alright, so apparently Indeed, when you die, your corpse is actually gone. Well, that's an interesting thing. Yes. Your friends walk away at a loss for words. You make your way home, dazed by what you have seen. You are still dazed as you retell these events to Mother, unable to look up from the floor. After a moment of silence, she embraces you and calms you down. Aw. Poor girl, what a terrible, painful death. But you must know that it was not her true death. By the twins' mercy, we were all given enough time in this world. Should you die before your time, you will be brought back by their grace. For 3 times, they will rescue you from a terrible fate. But the 4th death is true and final for all. Every loss of a life we were granted at our birth is a heavy blow to us. But the gods told us not to mourn a lesser death. Everybody will keep on living as though nothing has happened, even Sophia's parents. So how does that work then? How does she come back? Does she come back as a baby? Because, okay, their family is poor, they have no family crypt like we do. When the girl's soul comes back to life, her body will be reborn in the city's church, with all her wounds healed. Huh. Do not mourn her, my son, but thank the twin gods for their justice. This is a very intriguing thing, by the way, but I think that we'll know more of this later, possibly. You see Sophia by her house a few days later, and she looks completely fine without so much as a scratch, but probably doesn't like me that much, maybe. I mean, could she fault me for this? The others shouldn't tell you that her parents now forbid her to leave the yard after dying such an early first death. You call out Sophia's name, she looks at you briefly, then walks back inside. Sophia never talks to you again. And, yeah, that is very sad, and, alright, so, one of the things, matters of the heart, meet a girl, that's not gonna be Sophia then. That is, she's out. She's out of that. And we sort of failed that destiny, but we move on to 10 years of age. We're fine still. So right then, it is year 1128 in the fall, or autumn as it's most commonly known. Soil and gunpowder. Sophia disappeared after the terrible incident with the horses. Her friends gossiped that her parents sent her off to serve a rich noble dynasty. We haven't seen each other since that day, but you still remember Sophia's eyes, the sunlight shining in them. But no matter what, life goes on. You are 10 years old now, your studies continue, and you're learning more about the land you live in. Anisot is an ancient city in an imperial province by the name of Magra. All soil in Magra was turned to ash eons ago, scorched by magic during the rebellion of Duke Char Milanidas. The magical arts are all but gone now, but the scorched earth has remained barren and infertile ever since. Since then, the entire province has lain barren, tormented by cold and scorching winds in equal measure, with few precious plants taking root on their own. We have a lot of trees, so it's fine here. All fertile land in Marga is bought elsewhere and brought here by an endless caravan of cars and carriages. All fertile land is bought and brought. What do you mean? Do you mean like you bring soil? Yeah, okay, yes, I see. To pay for food and soil, the cities of Magra became skilled in many trades, primarily mining and digging for metals and stone. Last fall, there was an explosion just outside the city, followed by clouds of thick smoke. The first such incident frightened the citizens, but then explosions and smoke became an everyday occurrence. Soon everyone grew used to it. Father explains that the miners are using a new invention called gunpowder. It makes it easier for them to reach the precious stones and metals buried deep within the earth. Then one day, a thunderous explosion rocks the city, and black, billowing smoke covers the houses. People are stuck in their homes, all windows tightly shut. The air is impossible to breathe. Nathan coughs all the time. Gloria and you cough only when nobody's watching, and if Mother hears it, she'll make you inhale those not hot herbal vapors just like Nathan. It takes 2 days for the black smoke to disperse. People pour out onto the streets to meet their friends. Thomas is eager to share everything he knows about this incident with you. Oh, you have insight, have you? They took lots of burnt up people to the city temple. Mom told me she was helping the healers. There are many rumors. Some claim it was the work of a beast stirred from its slumber, while others say it was the surviving witches that continue to threaten the order in the Empire with their accursed powers. Interesting. Can I become a witch, maybe? But as for you, you patiently wait for Father to come back home, and then you'll ask him about it. Father spends day and night working at the prefecture, while Mother spends all her time in the prayer. It takes a full week for Father to finally come home, and he's almost completely spent. You muster enough courage during dinner to ask him what happened outside the city. Father raises his head, his face a bleak, weary mask, and starts muttering his proclamation. It's almost as if he doesn't see you. And Robert says it's the mine outside the city. They were trying to get a vein of ore. There was an explosion, the mine caved in, and the black smoke started flowing. Many workers died there. It was all because Count El Velasco, who owns the mines, wanted them to start mining that vein before they were ready. Some of the workers weren't even reborn. Perhaps the twins thought their final time had come. The prefecture has been inundated with the complaints from families that have lost their breadwinners, asking the judges for help. Many people also lost their cattle to the black smoke. Count El Velasco, Velasco, blames gunpowder for the disaster. The prefecture and the newspapers just repeat whatever he says. But it's plain old greed and tyranny of noblemen that are to blame. Why is the welfare of our province always paid for with commoner lives? Well, you don't care about that because you're not a commoner. Then, without warning, he grows silent again. You keep thinking about it for days. Can a human life really end so easily? A single moment of bad luck and you die, only to reemerge from the temple of the family crypt with a new black mark on your arm? Or worse, you remain where you fell, dead, never to reborn again. Ever. Very ominous. Okay. So obviously this is out of our control. So we did reach the next level of wealth, but we dropped down a bit on order. Still at peace, so that's good. But we'll see where that goes. A. And Stefan is coming home apparently. During lunch, Father tells you to stay home in the evening and prepare to meet some important guests. Your elder brother Stefan will return home by dinner tonight. Joining him will be your grandfather, Gregor Brante, as well as a noble friend of the family. You're excited about your brother's return. It has been years since you last saw him. How has he changed during his years away from home? You and Father await the guest anxiously. The doorbell rings. 3 people are standing outside. Grandfather is the first to come in, naturally. He has not changed a bit since his last visit, still eyeing the house with contempt, looking for any reason to demean it. Grandfather is followed by a stately young man, dressed in a jacket embroidered in silver, whom you barely recognize as your brother. Stefan casts a glance at your threadbare clothes, your dirty fingernails, and smirks. The last entered house is a personable gentleman with a worn-out, wrinkled face. You've heard a lot about this man from father and grandfather. He is Baron Augustin Elborn, Stefan's uncle, a family friend and the province's prefect, which means that he is the head judge and thus father's superior. Sir Elborn smiles slightly and offers you his hand. And this must be your younger son, Chris. Yes, you have your father's eyes, young man, says him. Father bows slightly to grandfather and Sir Elborn, but there is a moment of quiet when Stefan's turn comes. Father reaches out to him awkwardly, expecting an embrace. There is a question in Stefan's eyes as he looks at grandfather. The old man shakes his head almost imperceptibly. We noblemen oughtn't put our emotions on public display, Father, not even after a lengthy separation. There is no embrace. Instead, Stefan nods to Father curtly. He responds in kind, his face devoid of emotion. After the greeting, you proceed to the sitting room. Elborn is the first to enter. He kisses Mother's hand and Gloria's too, and tosses Nathan's hair after he sees him hiding by the table. Grandfather acknowledges them with glum nod. So, yeah, our brother's return, not really what my father would have hoped, and probably not mine as well, as we will find out. Greetings, Lydia Brante. Not even Mother. I remember you were well, actually, okay, fine. Granted, she is not his mother. That is absolutely true. I remember you were kind to me when I was but a child, and you must be Nathan. You could barely walk when I saw you last. Your other brother ignores Gloria completely, not even a greeting. You proceed to the dining room in a dignified manner and take your seats. The dishes smell delicious, but they merely punctuate the overwhelming tension at the table. Elborn is the only one with a friendly smile on his face. So let's get on his good sides then. The dinner is splendid, Lydia. Did you choose the dishes yourself? You have a truly refined palate. It warms my heart to know Stefan spent his early years with you. Womanly care always does a child good, no matter the state. Your fork freezes in the air halfway to your mouth. You expect many things from a noble of the sword, but words of praise for a low-born woman are not one of them. You cast a glance at grandfather. He looks like he's about to choke on those words. It would do my grandson more good to stay at boarding school among his equals, says he. And from Augustine, please Gregor, parenting is no less important. Nothing can replace a mother's love, I cannot deny it. It saddens me greatly that my late sister could not be there to raise Stefan, but there was still a family for him, and he was surrounded by love. How could that be bad? And besides, his father was by his side all the while. A father's example is always the best. After all, Robert earned the judge's rank the same way you did. Your grandson will surely follow in your footstep. And who knows, perhaps even the younger men of the Brante family will contribute to that. You clumsy low-born cretin, who are you talking to? Everybody is startled by this sudden outburst. Grandfather's face turns red. He's glaring at a young lady servant holding a pitcher over a glass. Stefan is sitting right next to her, dabbing a napkin on a fresh stainless jacket. Oh, you... chill out, dude. Begone this instant, you wench, or something. The lady servant runs away, leaving the pitcher on a small table by the door. After a quiet moment, Elborn smiles again. It appears the servant has left us, yet the dinner is far from over. Worry not, uncle, there are enough commoners at this table to keep us served with food and drink, says Stefan. Ooh, are you gonna make me serve you, then? Stefan glares at Gloria. Okay, fine, my sister, presumably, yes. So he stares at her, and she's sitting right next to you. She shrinks down and hunches over under his gaze. Father furrows his brows. Mother covers her mouth with trembling hands, but doesn't say anything. Grandfather sneers. Stefan's gaze does not move. The silence lasts far too long. Then she starts to rise from a chair. If the Brante gentlemen so wish it, she says. Your hands clench into fists under the table. How can he bring himself to humiliate his own family, his own mother and sister like this? It is all grandfather's doing. Stefan could not even bring himself to embrace father without his permission. And yet they are noblemen, and they have the right to act this way. If there's any way this dinner can become even more unbearable, you do not want to see it. So, there is a thing here about how the game sort of presents these issues, which is, if you look at this section here, the game very much, and this has happened before as well, put you towards commoner. Because my character is absolutely sort of always going with the commoner thought pattern, if you would. Then we do have this sentence about noblemen, like they can't do this, obviously. So I could do an insult my brother, that would be the commoner way, so that would be ingenuity. Make small talk over dinner, most likely the nobleman, or I can join Gloria in her plight, and that is most likely the spiritual guidance thingamajig. So, do I... Okay, so you know what? I think it's time for me to sort of decide. Do I go for 2 of these? Because I assume that I can go for 2 at least. I would have been able to go for... Well, I did go for both determination and perception. I got those to 4 during childhood, so I think I should be able to get 2 of these up to 4. Probably not all 3. Probably not all 3. And why am I still exhausted? I don't like the fact that I'm still exhausted. Bloody hell, had I known about that. Had I known about that. I think I actually do want to go for spirituality and nobility. I think I do. I think I do. On this occasion, though, we do have the Gloria thingamajig. Gloria's secret. That is ingenuity, so we're not going to be able to do that. I wouldn't mind this, though, which is one of the reasons why I would love to go up for nobility. Alright, so you know what? I'm gonna make some small talk over dinner. I'm gonna eye my sister and be very sad about it, but I will try to act like this is all fine. Let's see how this plays out. So moving stiffly, Gloria takes the wine pitcher and starts refilling the glasses. You turn away from your sister, eager to distract yourself from her presence somehow. So you ask Sir Elborn how you may contribute to the family legacy. He turns to you, clearly relieved. Your eagerness to support the family betrays your noble-bearing young man. It is simple. Always remember that you are a Brante. Your family has a path of its own. You must follow in the footsteps of your father and grandfather and learn the judge's trade. Well, I don't really want to be a judge, but we'll see about that. You keep asking questions about the life and duty of a nobleman, trying not to look at Gloria as Gloria continues serving the table. Sir Elborn is eager to explain, a nobleman must always live with honor in mind, but the imperial law stands higher. There are 3 laws and 3 estates. Naturally, they can never be equal, yet the law must govern those who live within each estate. You have a hard time understanding some of the things the prefect of Magra says, but his intellect is stunning. The dinner ends, Gloria takes away the last of the dirty dishes and disappears quietly from the dining room. Sir Elborn cordially bids you farewell. Grandfather and Stefan are still as hearty as ever, but they are clearly pleased. Pleased with what, you wonder? The dinner or glorious humiliation? Then you go to sleep. Your sister is sobbing in the next room, loud enough that you hear her. And actually, would you know it, Gregor Brante actually does have +2 for me now. Interesting. Nobility does indeed go up. Vaguely as I had anticipated it. Alright then, we are now at 11 years of age. New Year is in. A dropped handkerchief. Okay, are we now getting into a possible love connection? A hot dry wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands around it. The noble residents of Anisot prefer to remain in their chambers, while the commoners huddle in tents or in the shade of the silver tree. You are on an errand right now. Your father wrote a letter to a noble acquaintance, and you are to deliver it. Thomas, the boy down the street, is tagging along. The two of you are inseparable now. The errand is an easy one, so you decide to take this opportunity to loiter around the part of Anisot where the nobles live. So here you are, in the middle of the city square, resting on an ancient brickwork by the old fountain in the merciful shade of the gargantuan silver tree. Thomas is by your side, lazily slouching on the edge of the fountain's basin. It's a hard life for commoners like you and me. Either you break your back in a workshop day and night, hoping someone will buy your goods someday, or you become a manservant to some noble. You never get a chance to enjoy life, says Thomas. And this is our lot, you remind him. We work and endure and suffer. But Thomas waves your words away. Yeah, I know all that already. Mother keeps drilling that stuff into me. We must be humble, our strength is patience and persistence, so yeah, I say. But I want to make my fortune no matter what. So how ain't that living by my lot, I ask you? Feels like Thomas has been very, very good at sort of ignoring his upbringing in some ways. Good on him. But the lots, they ain't easy. Let's take you for example. Brante, your father is a nobleman, but even if that didn't make you one, wait. Your father's a nobleman, but even if that didn't make you one, period. I think it's supposed to say, but even that didn't make you one. I think that if is in the wrong place. Just look at your hands. You never had to work as hard as me, but we have the same lot, so we're supposed to suffer the same. Or look at your father. He's a judge. He toils at the prefecture day and night doing his judging, and he's a noble. I've never seen an Arcanian work as hard as he does. And you shrug, or I shrug. The Arcanians are a different race. The books say they were born to rule over humans. So we have seen this before, where Arcanians were one thing and humans were one thing. That's interesting. Will we ever meet an Arcanian? They are never commoners, always nobles of the sword by birth. They founded the empire after subduing all the human kingdoms on the continent. Humans will never be their equals. Arcanians are always better, smarter, stronger, and their skin is a noble shade of blue. If the books are to be believed, of course, you have never seen one yourself. Well, that feels like a really easy thing to disprove. Just saying, if they still exist. Your idle chatter is suddenly interrupted by a rugged-looking guardsman dressed in a black and green. He chases you away from the fountain. Common rabble like you have no place here. You hear the clattering of hooves and wheels against the cobblestones and see flags bearing a coat of arms, a sable serpent on a field of vert. Same one as ran over Sophia then. It makes you squirm. It is the Archduke's coat of arms, the Melanidas dynasty. The carriage doors opens, revealing a young lady in a luxurious dress. You cannot look away from her. Those dainty shoulders, suggested but not revealed by the cut of her dress, her black hair cascading over them, her stately slim silhouette, her pouty lips and prim nose, and those eyes dark like the night sky. The way she moves, fluidly, gracefully. And most incredible of all, her skin glows in an azure blue. She's a masterpiece given life. She is an Arcanian. I would have loved if they would actually have given her a slightly blue hue even here. That would have made it a bit fun, yes. Alright then, Octavia Melanidas. Clear the way for me, she says. The Melanidas guardsmen work quickly to clear the way to the fountain for the Arcanian lady. So, do we know exactly how old she is? Has she... Yes, she has. Hello. We do not know how old she is, though. Alright. The searing sun dances on her skin in bizarre patterns. With one elegant motion, she reveals a handkerchief, then leans over the basin and wipes her head and neck with its cool water. And Thomas says, well, I'll be. That's Octavia Melanidas, our Archduke's own daughter. The Arcanian turns away and proceeds gravely back to her carriage. You see something slip out of her hand and fall onto the cobblestone right next to you. Her handkerchief. It's right there, by your feet, intricate craftsmanship, expensive woven fabric, delicately decorated with emerald filigree. Your heart skips a beat. Will you dare draw the beautiful Arcanian's attention in order to return her lost possession, or would you rather not attempt to cross the chasm between you and her? And we cannot do this because of willpower, so we can't give it back. I'm gonna be locked out of so many things because of this bloody willpower business. Alright then, I can stash the trophy or keep it... How are these different? You quickly hide the trophy okay. Oh, I can sell it. You watch Arcanian lady depart, trying to burn her every moment into your memory. No, let's keep it. We don't wanna sell it later. Let's go for that. And indeed, you carefully observe Lady Octavia as she leaves. Her delicate figure moves through the square like a waking dream. Her elegant hands gliding through the air, her hair flowing in the light breeze. Your eyes watch all of her. She returns to the carriage, leaning on a guardsman's shoulder as she gracefully climbs back inside. The soft handkerchief feels warm in your hand. You fold it carefully and hide it in your pocket. The carriage drives away, marked by the thudding rhythm of hooves. Until that day, you associated the Melanidas dynasty with nothing but indifferent cruelty. Now your breast pocket holds the proof of yet another quality they possess: beauty. And, good. I have 0 willpower again. Lovely. So that means that, well, I could have done that, but now I can't. And I don't think that actually... Yeah, there weren't any more willpower stuff. And I kind of like the fact that I have both of these now. Kind of feels like I didn't have to do the Noble Sacrament, but I did not know that at that point in time. Alright then, we are moving along, and let's see here. I think that this is indeed where we put a cut to the episode. Let's do half of adolescence and now, and half of adolescence in the next episode. So we're going up to spring and the Quorum Decree. We'll read more about that in the next episode. So yes, indeed, we are coming along nicely. I can actually not do anything, so we're gonna leave on this little image right here. We have indeed started adolescence, started moving into, I think I have decided, yes indeed, spirituality and nobility. But we're already halfway through and I've only gotten 2 points. So can I even get to 4 in 2 of them? And if I can't... Do I go for nobility? Because I am kind of interested in sticking it to Stefan more than I am to sort of admonish Nathan, I think. I think I'll focus, if I can, to get nobility up to 4. And if I can't get any more than that afterwards, then I'll try to do that. But it could also be that these personality traits are not only for adolescence. It might be that they actually carry over to my youth, so to speak. again, never played the game, so I actually do not know any of this. But yeah, okay, that is most likely where the plan is for now. For now though, this has been ghostmutgaming with me, Christopher. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.